So a little short version of 3 bodyweight centers. Just something you can do in a quick break, in a short break, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. We'll see how we get on. We'll start by doing a few ankle circles, just to wake the ankles up, wake the feet up. 5 in each direction. Trying to smooth out those circles. And then the other foot. It's a lovely October morning, lovely and warm today. You can hear the poplar trees rustling in the wind. And just rolling on the ankles, side to side. Taking our attention up to the knees, bringing the feet together, and just bending the knees. I'll show you from the side. Bending the knees, and then straightening as much as you can, whilst keeping the torso long. So I'm shifting the rib cage, bodyweight center, forward and backwards of the knees. And I'm conscious of the relationship between the knees and the rib cage, the center of the rib cage. And working to map out that relationship. And then, once you've done a few of those, shifting the knees to the right, keeping the feet together, and then to the left. And again, mapping out that rib cage knee relationship and keeping the whole foot on the ground. So if you notice one of the big toe pad or the little toe pad wants to come off the ground, just reduce the movement so that you can keep the tripod, the foot tripod, boom, 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 on the ground at all times. And then maybe just taking that into a few circles. And the other way. Okay. Now, standing about hip width apart with the feet. And just sending the hips side to side. Keeping the torso nice and long. Keeping the body in like between 2 sheets of glass. Front and back. Nice. Just staying within a pleasurable range. Keeping those, being aware of like the toe pads. Keeping them on the ground. Letting the movement come from the feet. Okay, now taking that forwards, backwards, just as far as feels comfortable and pleasurable. Maybe bending the knees a little, and then straightening them. Allowing the torso to hang off of the hamstrings. Pelvis is quite complex, so we'll do Probably a little bit more work on the pelvis. Okay, standing up. We'll do some diagonals. So sending the hip over the foot and find your diagonal, whatever feels nice. Might not be quite the same as mine, and it might change over time. Be aware of your pelvic floor. Is it active? The lower abs, they've got a slight bit of activity happening. Okay, other angle. And with each rep, I'm finding slightly different angles just to see where I get the best stretch in that hip, where it feels nice. It feels like something, getting that springy sensation where something's happening. Torso nice and long. Okay, do some pelvic rocks. So just rotating, closing the angle of the rib cage and the pockets. So if you had headlights on your bum cheeks, they'd be going up as you close the rib cage, and then, down as you close the rib cage, and then up as you open. Just take that into, just lean down, so wherever's comfortable, and do a few here. Nice and slow, mapping out the full range. Seeing how much you can open up the hamstrings. And you use the breath to get a little bit more range. Now side to side, so shifting the weight onto one leg and then rocking the pelvis, and shifting onto the other leg, rocking the pelvis. So the leg that you're shifting onto, you straighten it a little bit, and then you can bend the other knee just to allow for the pelvis to rock on this plane, on the frontal plane. You can even reach down with the arm to accentuate the movement, even open the rib cage a little bit by sending the thumb back so the palm faces out. Nice. Just feel that for a moment. Just do some arm swings, so you can just keep the eyes front if you want in the beginning. Fingers are active during the swing, and then release at the end of the swing so that you tap your kidneys. Keep your knees pointed with your toes, and the feet are driving the movement. And you feel the hip sockets twisting. You're twisting in the hip socket as you reach end range. And if it feels comfortable, take your eyes behind. Nice. One last thing for the hips. We'll do full circles. So we're taking all those movements and we're bringing them together. Make it as big or as small as feels nice. Allow the upper body to be free. And reverse direction. Nice. Let's take another moment. Nice deep breath. Feel the hips, feel the knees, feel the feet, ankles, the toes. We do a few little toe grabs, clawing the ground a little bit. To ground that energy. Can you feel your hips? Alright, nice. Moving the attention up into the torso. Finding the center of the torso. Center of the rib cage. And dropping down. Closing the angle between the armpit and your hip. And on the other side. You can go as slow as you need. And if it feels comfortable, you can go a little faster, but always within a range that feels good and a pace that feels good and feels pleasurable. The body heals and adapts much better in a pleasurable range than it does in an uncomfortable range or a painful range. Can help to put the hands in the center of the chest, and you can find that pivot point like a wheel, the axis. Nice. And then taking that into arching back and then forward, arching back, collapsing forward. And we're keeping the head, I'm not like really, I mean it's not overly important, but it's nice to sort of keep the head relating to the rib cage as if it's like it's locked in. Like say there's a bar going up through the throat into the top of the head that keeps the two relating to one another, not collapsing down too much. but not overly dogmatic about it, just as an idea, so that these two centers, the head center and the ribcage center, are acting as one. And you can use the arms to accentuate. Nice. And we'll do a couple of diagonals, same thing. And you can do is, if you want to get this down to a 5-minute practice, you can easily do that. Just do a few in each plane, other diagonal. I just want to show you that it doesn't need to be an hour. It can be 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Spend 1 minute on each center, just taking it through, maybe not even all the angles, just side to side, front to back, and then circles. Nice and simple. Just simple repetitions of these movements help map out the body, map out the important heavy parts of the body and how they relate to one another. Okay, taking those two movements and putting them into a circle. Yours might be smaller than mine, that's okay. Remember to breathe. Consciousness in the center of the rib cage. Finding that axis point, reverse the direction. Nice. Take a moment, take a breath. What can you notice? Can you feel the center of your rib cage a little bit more now? And how does it feel in relation to the hips? How does that feel in relation to the ground? To the space around you? Alright. Taking the attention up to the head. Dropping the ear down to the shoulder. And then the other shoulder. Go easy. Let the first few be small and increase naturally. The body will allow, as the body allows more and more range. Enjoy the popping sounds, the crackings there. As long as they feel pleasurable, they're welcome. And then front to back. Do some diagonals. Go nice and easy on these. Keeping the rib cage up, so it's sort of rotated upwards rather than collapse, sort of somewhere in the, finding that midpoint. And the other angle. Breathing. And then taking that into a nice circle, nice and slow. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hands. And reverse direction. Can help to press the tongue into the roof of the mouth to stabilize the neck. Just gently, so you don't create too much tension in the jaw. And then coming back to center. Eyes on the horizon. Taking a moment to feel the pelvis, feel the ground first, then the pelvis, and the rib cage, and then the head. And just noticing any bracing habits that, and just work to relax those, and allowing these three centers, these three heavy body weight centers, to be in a dynamic relationship with one another. The pelvis heavy, the head light, and the rib cage just dancing in between. I invite you to go for a little walk now. Have a little 5-minute walk and just notice what you notice. Notice if you're more in your body. Thanks for joining me for thanks for moving with me. Enjoy the rest of your day.